signed the official signed it, not realizing there were no numbers by the roster. So, like, wow. Fairfield's going with 3, 12, 21, 22, 32. Well, good evening, sports fans, and welcome to Fairfield High School. And we've got a big doubleheader here as we've got the District 1B Fairfield Eagles taking on the Conrad Cowgirls, the first game of a doubleheader. We'll have boys coming up next. Mike Dean with you along with Gary Gund as we see the Fairfield Eagles in a very familiar position, and that is the top of the District 1B right now. They coming in with a record of 5-0 in conference play, 10-0 overall. Conrad right now is sitting in right now in fourth place in the District 1B. They have a 2-3 conference record, 4-5 overall, and it's Fairfield comes in with a tandem of three that I always like to call the Jill Barta and the Coverdale twins, which sounds like a singing group actually, but they come in here, and that's the tandem they've been going with lately as far as getting a lot of these scoring. They just came in, Fairfield comes in after a win over Shelby, a big win over Shelby, 63-26 in the game that saw Jill Barta get almost her season high. She got 30 points in that contest, just one shy of her 31 that she had in the win against Belton. Kaylin Coverdale had 12 in this contest. Conrad comes in here as they come off a loss to a very tough Shoto team when they lost them to 54-41, where Michael DeBoo had 11 points to lead Conrad. And unlike Fairfield, Conrad seems like they have a different person that comes up to the forefront. Some coaches like that, because, we can have a different person playing a good game, but by the same token, sometimes they like to have that go-to person, and that's something that Conrad just doesn't have yet.
That Morgan Van Dyke has kind of been their go-to person the last couple of years, and she is their second leading scorer right now in the year, averaging about 10 points a game. Haley Orcutt averaging 11 has been their leading scorer, but like you say, Emily Harwood can step up and have a big game. Michaela Behringer can step up. Taryn Erickson can hit the outside shots some nights. I think Tyler Buckland would like to see a little more consistency in his scoring, like to see the team shoot a little bit better overall. Maybe you can just find those two players, maybe even three players that you can count on this second half of the season, build some momentum as you head toward the playoffs.
And I was just about to say that. We have officially reached the halfway point of the season. These two teams met back on December 20th, and it was all Fairfield when they met in Conrad. 75-37 the final there. And in that game, Fairfield had 4 players in double figures. Kaylin Coverdale had 22. Jill Barta had 20. Courtney Coverdale with 13. Kaylee Bayeth, another good scorer for Fairfield. She had 10 in that contest. And in that, they only had one player. Conrad only had one player, that being Haley Orcutt at 14. And as we were talking about the go-to person, I thought actually it was going to be Haley Orcutt early on, because that's who's been doing the most of the scoring. But Morgan Van Dyke seems like she's been around forever because she's been playing for such long, and she's also a very good volleyball player too. So we've seen her a lot, and I think that right now Tyler Buckland would like to see several of these players just have that to really break out game and keep it going for a while.
And if they can get the inside game going a little bit more with Emily Harwood, who's actually a pretty good shooter, that would be a benefit to this team. But she's a smaller player in what overall is a pretty big league. When you think about Jill Barta, you think about Kayla Leary at Cutbank, you think about the taller player at Shelby, Jessica Marr, and the Rocky Boys got a couple taller players too. Emily Harwood is smaller in that group, but if they can find a way to get that low post play going, that's going to open up the outside for Haley Orcutt and Morgan Van Dyke a little bit more.
I thought you were going to also mention the tall gal that they have in Shoto, the freshman there.
There's more than one there. Yes,
well,
right.
yeah. But we'll talk about more as we go along here. Our warm-up is brought to you by the First Liberty Federal Credit Union, and we'll be back to take a look at the starting lineup and more as our pregame continues. We're back to Fairfield after this 1-minute timeout. Are we AM or FM? Or FM, okay. I guess hearing long neck bottle, I should have realized that.
Yeah.
Remember, they do not call, text, or email you and ask for your personal information. If you ever receive a request asking for that information, hang up and call their local number and your local law enforcement to report. For your convenience, stop at any of their locations and say hi to their staff. Check out their website, firstliberty.org, or call 1-800-824-0585. Be sure to stop in and use your drive up for your financial needs. It pays to belong to First Liberty.
Our warm-up continues. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Conrad Cowgirls, how they will go in tonight's contest. They'll go with Taryn Erickson. She's a 5'4" senior. Haley Orcutt will be starting. She is a 5'5" senior. Michaela Berger will be starting, a 5'5" senior. Emily Harwood, a 5'9" sophomore. And Morgan Van Dyke will be starting, a 5'7" senior. Cowgirls coached by Tyler Buckland, assisted by Heather Rutherford. And I guess just by going there, at least we see one of the things Conrad has is a lot of experience. Their starting lineup, all seniors with one sophomore.
Well, and not only that, but you've got Haley Orcutt as a 3-year starter. Morgan Van Dyke's a 3-year impact player. Taryn Erickson's come off the bench for 3 years for Tyler Buckland's team. So not only do they have seniors, they've got seniors that have seen a lot of time. The one thing they don't have is a little bit of size that they had last year. But remember, this Tyler Buckland team from Conrad is the one team that gave Fairfield a game last year. At the tournament level, got into the divisional and pushed them right to the, I think it was the district tournament, pushed them right to the end there. Made it a close game. Fairfield won. Did not shoot well that night, and Conrad actually held the ball out on them and had a good strategy, and they did shoot the ball well. But that Conrad team went to state a year ago. This Conrad team's got a little work to do if they want to get back to Bozeman.
And you were talking about size. Conrad only has 2 players at 5'9". Only one of them start, that being Emily Harwood. The other, Janae Johns, is also 5'9". She's a sophomore, even though she does see a bit of playing time for the Conrad Cowgirls. We'll take another timeout, hear another word from First Liberty Federal Credit Union, and take a look at the Fairfield starters. And we'll be back to Fairfield after this 1-minute timeout.
First Liberty Federal Credit Union and Conrad and Cutbank is there for you for all financial needs.
Welcome to Fairfield for tonight's conference game between the visiting Conrad Cowgirls and your home team, Fairfield Eagles. Would you now please rise for the playing of our national anthem? Tonight's national anthem will be sung by Fairfield High School student Skylar Anderson, and the colors will be presented by the Fairfield High School cheerleaders under the direction of Jen Barnett.
Remember, they do not call, text, or email you and ask for your personal information. If you ever receive a request asking for that information, hang up and call their local number and your local law enforcement to report. For your convenience, stop at any of their locations and say hi to the staff. Check out their website, firstliberty.org, or call 1-800-824-0585. Be sure to stop in or use their
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so boldly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, though the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming,
out singing the national anthem by the name of Skylar Anderson here in Fairfield, and the presentation of the colors done by the Fairfield High School cheerleaders. As we take a look at the starting lineup for Fairfield, if you ever watched The Sound of Music, there's a song, How Do You Solve a Problem Like Maria? Well, for opposing Fairfield players, it's How Do You Solve a Problem Like Jill Barta? As they have her listed here at 6'3" in the program. Coach Dustin Gordon says she's 6'4", but I don't think that 1 inch really matters because she's been the inside person that, Dustin Gordon says, you just can't coach 6'4". You just have it or you don't.
Well, that's true, and especially when Conrad's tallest player is 5'9", that 1 inch really doesn't matter. But when you're 6'4" and you can play away from the basket as good as a point guard and shoot the outside shot like anybody can shoot it here in the District 1B, that's an added problem. If you play at the top of the zone where your 5'5" players are, that's a huge advantage. And, of course, you've got her to break the press. You can always throw it up high, and she can go get it in the middle of the floor if you get into trouble.
Jill Barta will be starting as for Fairfield as senior at 6'3". Tylee Isaacson also will be starting for Fairfield. She's a 5'7" sophomore. Courtney Coverdale will be starting, a 5'8" senior. And her twin, Kaylin Coverdale, will be also starting. She is also a 5'8" senior. And Kaylee Beth, who can also get some, put some points on the board if given the chance, will be starting. She's a 5'7" senior. The Eagles are coached by Dustin Gordon and assisted by Dusty Smith. Those are the starters for Fairfield. Our warm-up has been brought to you by the First Liberty Federal Credit Union. We're going to hear a word from the home cafe and be back for the tip-off after this 1-minute timeout.
Line 7, senior number 32, Kaylee Bay. Eagles are assistant coached by Dusty Smith. Your head coach is Dustin Gordon. Your official manager, James Russell. Here comes in.
Oh yeah, there's 2 Ruckmans also. They don't play very much, so that's not a problem.
The line, you'll be back for a bowl of home-made soup and sandwich. A lunch snack or one of your favorites. When you need a meal on the go, the Home Cafe will have it prepared for you and ready when you are. The Home Cafe, more than just a great place to eat, it's where they support the Cowboys and Cowgirls in all their sporting events and the youth in all their academic events. The Home Cafe, downtown Conrad. Open 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m.
You're listening to KZIN FM, Shelby, Cup Bank, and Conrad, and K96FM.com.
Emily Harwood against Jill Barta. Fairfield gets the tip, and over on the left side, it'll be Emily Harwood underneath, Kaylin Coverdale underneath. Gets the ball on the outside. Shot's going to be put up there by Kaylee Beth. No good. And rebound Conrad. As we go the other direction, they got the lead pass over on the right side to Taryn Erickson. She'll dribble the ball inside. Now kick the ball back on the outside of the top of the key for Michaela Behringer. Works inside. Try to get it to Emily Harwood. Batted away and picked up by Fairfield. It'll be Courtney Coverdale getting the ball across the timeline. Goes over onto the right wing. Sets up the offense. Goes in the corner to Kaylee Beth. Back over on the right side to Caitlin Coverdale underneath. Shot's going to be put up as good by Jill Barta, and she gets her first 2. It's 2-0 Fairfield. 7:09 left to go in our first quarter. As over on the right side goes Taryn Erickson. She'll dribble, gets by 2 defenders. Now goes the baseline to Emily Harwood. She'll drive the ball now, try to get the ball on the outside to Haley Orcutt. Goes right by her and out of bounds.
We saw Conrad dribble under the backboard on that play. We saw Chodo try to throw the ball under the backboard how many times last week? Just can't get away with that against this defense.
Over on the top of the key will go Courtney Coverdale. Gives the ball over on the right side. Taylor Isaacson there to Courtney Coverdale. Back on top to Kaylin. Back to Courtney. Goes over on the right side now to Isaacson. Drives to the baseline and has to stop. Kicks the ball back on the outside. It'll be Courtney there. Goes up on top to Kaylin. Now over on the left side to Bayeth. Now looks down low to Barta. Has 3 people on her. Tried to kick the ball back on the outside. Was able to get it away and gives it over on the right side to Courtney Coverdale. Back to Jill Barta up on top. Jill looks to drive inside. She'll stop there. Look the ball down low. Goes through the hands of Kaylin Coverdale and out of bounds.
Conrad's in a 2-3 zone defense. They did a pretty good job of denying Jill Barta the shot down on the baseline, and then did a good job getting back outside when the ball was on the perimeter.
It'll be Taryn Erickson going, getting the ball in the corner to Behringer. tried to give it back over to Erickson, but it was Kaylee Bath was able to get her hand on that and bat the ball out of bounds.
Tough when you get the ball down in the corner because Fairfield plays that sideline very well, and you're throwing over 5'8", 5'9" players with long arms.
Haley Orcutt over in the left side to Morgan Van Dyke, gets one dribble, back up on top to Erickson, goes over on the right side to Orcutt, back now inside to Harwood. She'll kick the ball back over on the left side. Shot's going to be put up by Behringer, no good, and rebound, it'll be Fairfield taking the ball the other direction. Barta gets the ball inside, now down low, off the glass, up and in. 4 points for Jill Barta, it's 4-0 Fairfield. 5:45 left to go in our first quarter as the lead pass is going to be given over to Harwood. Looks inside, Erickson will drive inside, put it up and in, and draws the foul.
And Taryn Erickson did something you don't see very many players do, especially players her size. She went to the basket against Jill Barta, got inside position, went up strong. Jill's got those long arms. She'll block a lot of those shots, but Taryn actually got the ball in the air before Jill could get set to block that shot, ends up getting rewarded for it.
And first foul on Jill Barta as Erickson goes to the line to complete the three-point play, no good. So our score remains 4-2 Fairfield. 5:33 left to go in our first quarter. And now the ball gets away. It's going to go to the floor. It's going to get tied up there. And a held ball will be called. And possession arrow will favor Conrad. So taking the ball out for the Cowgirls will be Morgan Van Dyke. Gets the inbound over to Orcutt. Lead pass over inside to Harwood. Goes over the baseline to Behringer. She'll drive inside, but kicks the ball back out to Erickson. Goes over the left side. Three-point shot put up by Van Dyke is up and in. So Morgan Van Dyke with a three-pointer, and it's 5-4 Conrad with 5:10 left to go in our first quarter. Over in the corner, they get the ball down low as they got it over to Kaylin Coverdale. A foul's going to be called underneath, and they'll call that one on Emily Harwood. It'll be her first team foul on the Cowgirls. So Fairfield will take the ball out underneath their own basket. Inbound pass is going to be taken by Bath. She'll take it for three. It's an air ball. Put back by Isaacson is up. That's no good. And rebound is pulled down by Van Dyke. She'll slow the ball down as the Eagles will not press. And now has just kind of the pass just went away from her. Double dribble is going to be called on Fairfield.
Yeah, she went to throw the ball, then thought better of it. The ball just slipped out of her hands, rolled right to the Fairfield defender. But you see the Eagles top of that 2-3 zone really coming up to half court now. Look for a lot more double teams than we've seen in the first 3 minutes.
Van Dyke goes a baseline over to Behringer, gets an angle pass over on the right side to Orcutt. Looks down low inside. They'll get it over to Behringer. Down low shot's going to be put up by Harwood. No good. Rebound pulled down by Isaacson. Gets the lead pass to Bath. She'll go dribble all the way to the baseline. Kick the ball back on the outside. Three-point shot by Barta is no good. And rebound chased down. And it'll be picked up by Orcutt. Orcutt will trot the ball across the timeline. Gets double teamed there. Goes over on the right side to Erickson. Now baseline over to Behringer. Angle pass up on top of the key. Van Dyke, she's going to pull up for three. Hits the back of the rim. It's no good. Rebound Barta. She'll run the ball across the timeline herself. Gets the lead pass over to Courtney Coverdale. Back it over to Barta. Goes in the corner now to Isaacson. Back to Barta. Now down low. Shot's going to be put up there by Bath. No good. Rebound pulled down by Morgan Van Dyke. Gets the ball across the timeline. Lead pass. Now as the ball is batted away, it's going to be picked up by Barta on the other end. Isaacson got her hand on it. Barta gets by two defenders. Shot bounces around, and it's up and in. 6 points for Jill Barta. It's 6-5 Fairfield. 3:39 left to go in our first quarter. As Orcutt across the timeline, gives the ball over to Van Dyke. Angle pass to Orcutt, or that's Behringer rather. She'll take it for three, no good. Rebound Barta. Gets the outlet pass over to Bath. She'll trot the ball across the timeline, whistle, and double dribble called. And it'll be a turnover. It'll be Conrad's ball.
Kaylee went to pick up the ball that time, and the ball slipped out of her hands. It must be a slippery basketball tonight because it's happened now on both teams' one side.
Michaela DeBoo will check in for Conrad. Ollie Steinbach is in for Fairfield.
Michaela DeBoo,
I'm sorry. Is over on the right side, goes Orcutt. Gives the ball right at that center circle to Van Dyke. Goes over on the right side now to Orcutt. Now back to Van Dyke, gets by her, and she has to pick it up in backcourt. It'll be over and back, and it'll be Fairfield's ball.
Fairfield pushed Conrad right to the sideline, literally that time, and Cowgirls turn it over 6 times now in the first 5 minutes.
Courtney Coverdale with the ball over on the corner there. One's bounce pass as the shot's going to be put up there by Ollie Steinbach. No good, but a foul's going to be called, and going to the line for Fairfield will be Ollie Steinbach.
That's a good look for Fairfield, too. Conrad came up high with the 2-3 zone, a nice little backdoor cut on the backside, made an easy attempt at the basket, and at least drew fouls.
Emily Harwood will pick up the foul. It'll be her second. As at the line, Ollie Steinbach's first shot is up and in. And now Harwood will come out with her second foul, and Taryn Erickson, who just barely got a breather, is back in.
And Morgan Van Dyke now becomes the tallest player on the floor for Conrad at 5'7".
And the next one by Steinbach is up, and that's also good. So 2 points for Ollie Steinbach makes it 8-5 Fairfield. 3:02 left to go in our first. As over on the left side, it'll be Erickson. Gets a bounce pass over in the corner now to DeBoo. She'll drive inside the paint. Her shot hits the side of the backboard, and it's no good. Rebound pulled down by Beth. She'll run the ball the other direction. Fires the ball underneath to Steinbach. Now back up on top. Goes now in the corner. It'll be Steinbach there looking for someone to pass it to. Gives it over to Courtney Coverdale. Now back over to Steinbach. Up on top, the key to Barta. She'll take it from the free-throw line. Dumps the ball down low. Courtney Coverdale, or Kaylin Coverdale, off the glass and in. First two for Kaylin Coverdale. It's 10-5 Fairfield. 2:25 left to go in our first. And now a steal is coming up with it is Steinbach. She has the breakaway on the other end. It's good. And Conrad wants to call a timeout. Let's break for a minute with 2:18 left to go in our first quarter. Our score, Fairfield 12 and Conrad 5.
For more than 100 years, community-focused Teton Banks has served the area with friendly, professional service provided by people you know and trust. And isn't that what we'd all like from our bank? Teton Banks, solving your problems, serving your needs. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
They must have heard me. They changed it. And on the inbound, the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Conrad. It'll be Fairfield's ball. Checking in, we'll see Gabby Drashinsky for the first time, and Taryn Erickson will sit down.
Conrad started the game 2 of 4 from the field, but they've turned it over on each of their last 4 possessions now.
Courtney Coverdale gives the ball over on the left side to Kaylin. Back to Courtney. Goes right side now to Steinbach. Looks down low to Barta. She'll go for a turnaround jumper up. No good. Foul's going to be called, and going to the line for Fairfield will be Jill Barta.
In that low post set that time, they put 2 actually in the low post. I don't know if this was on purpose or not, but as it turned out, Jill Barta caught the ball with her teammate. I think it was Kaylee Baith behind her, and Kaylee set a screen on the low post defender. That allows Jill to come across the lane, get a pretty good look at a shot.
First one is up and no good. Foul was called on Gabby Drashinsky, her first. Second shot by Barta is up, and that one is good. And now checking in for Fairfield will be Taylor Isaacson will be back in. And as getting the ball across the timeline will be Michaela Behringer. Gives the ball up on top. Works over on the right side now to Drashinsky. Back now over to Behringer. Dribbles all the way to the baseline now. Has to stop. Looks around for someone to pass it to. Finally gives it to DeBoo. She'll drive inside the paint. Her shot over Barta, no good. And as they try to go for a baseball pass on the other end, Behringer was there to pick it up for Conrad. They give the ball over on the baseline again as it'll be DeBoo there. She'll drive inside, shot no good, but a foul's going to be called. And going to the line for Conrad will be Michaela DeBoo.
Whether by design or not, Jill Barta got caught on the top of the zone that time, and a good move by DeBoo to go ahead and take the ball to the basket, although she was not afraid to challenge Barta on the previous play, just shot it too hard off the glass.
Foul's going to be called on Courtney Coverdale. It'll be her first. First shot by DeBoo is up and in. So she picks up her first points of the evening. Next shot coming up for Michaela DeBoo. That one is up, and that one is no good. So 13-6 now our score. Fairfield with the lead, 1:20 left to go in our first. As they get the ball inside, it was Courtney Coverdale got around several defenders, just got the easy layup and gets her first 2. It's 15-6 Fairfield, 1:09 left to go in our first. Over on the far side goes Behringer. Gives the ball up on top. The key now to DeBoo. She'll back up as she has Barta right on her. Backs up all the way to the baseline. Barta will sag off a little bit. Goes over on the right side now to Behringer. Now inside the paint, the little fadeaway jumper is going to be put up by DeBoo. No good. Rebound, Barta. She gets a lead pass to Steinbach. Goes in the corner now as it'll be Kaylin Coverdale there. She'll dribble up on top of the key. Goes over on the right side to Courtney Coverdale. She'll go for three, and it's good. First three-pointer for Courtney Coverdale. She has 5. It's 18-6 Fairfield. 29 seconds left to go in our first. Bounce pass over on the near side as it'll be Drashinsky there. Has the ball stolen away by Fairfield. They get the lead pass over to Barta. She's got the breakaway on the other end and gets the easy 2. 9 points for Jill Barta. It's 20-6 Fairfield. 14 seconds left to go in our first. As over on the right side, it'll be Behringer holding the ball high above her head, looking for someone to pass it to with 7 seconds. Now goes baseline to Drashinsky. Back over to Behringer. Gives it back to Drashinsky. She'll put it up with less than a second left. It's no good. It might have been partially blocked, and that ends our first quarter. So we're through 1 here in Fairfield. Our score is Fairfield 20 and Conrad 6.
Kay and Kenneth Naylor started Kay's Auto in 1955. The Fairfield store opened in March of 1984 and has been going strong ever since. Today, Ken and Jan Naylor own and operate the family business. They have proudly supported the Fairfield community and school for 28 years. For all of your automotive parts, vehicle accessories, and automotive tools, be sure to stop into the Fairfield Kay's Auto Store. Customers will experience outstanding service in a friendly atmosphere and guaranteed high-quality parts. Please visit Kay's Auto of Fairfield for any of your automotive needs. Thank you for your business, and go Eagles!
Conrad actually led at one point in this game, 5-4 on that Morgan Van Dyke three-pointer. Since that time, Fairfield made their last 6 shots of the first quarter to take the lead. Conrad missed their next 6 shots, and they had a number of turnovers in that first quarter.
Taryn Erickson gets a bounce pass to Morgan Van Dyke. Back over to Erickson. To Van Dyke up on top. Drives inside the paint, dumps the ball down low. Shot's going to be put up there by Emily Harwood. No good. Rebound, Barta. She'll trot the ball across the timeline. Gives the ball over on the near side. Tylee Isaacson, she'll take it for a 15-footer, no good. Rebound, Fairfield keeps it alive, but a bounce pass went right into the hands of Haley Orcutt. She'll run the ball the other direction now. Reverses directions as she gets a bounce pass now over to Taryn Erickson. Back up on top, it'll be Harwood there, works over on the near side to Haley Orcutt. She'll pull up for 3, and it's an air ball. Rebound pulled down by Kaylin Coverdale. Gets a lead pass now over to Ollie Steinbaugh, over on the right side now, as it'll be Kaylee Bale. She'll pull up for 3. That's no good. Rebound, Barta. Her putback is up. That's no good. Rebound this time pulled down by Orcutt. She'll run the ball the other direction for Conrad. Gets a lead pass to Erickson. Gets by one defender. Tried to get the bounce pass over to Van Dyke, but jumping in front of that, Kaylee Bath, and I believe she'll be the one called for the foul. And it will be, and that's foul number 1 on Kaylee Bath. 13th foul on the Eagles. So it'll be Van Dyke to take the ball out for the Cowgirls. Gets the inbound pass over to Orcutt. Bounce pass to Erickson. Dribbles by, and she gets 2 people right in her face there. Works over on the baseline now as it'll be Michaela DeBoo there for 3. No good. Rebound pulled down by Kaylin Coverdale. She'll dribble in backcourt. Gets a lead pass, but it's batted away. It'll be picked up by Conrad. It'll be Orcutt running the ball the other direction. Gets the ball down low. Erickson is there, but got too far underneath the basket. Kicks the ball back on the outside to Van Dyke. Tried to get the pass over to Orca, went right through her legs and out of bounds. Checking the contest now. Courtney Coverdale is in. And Kaylin was going to come out, but she says stay in there. It'll be Jill Barta coming out. And getting the ball across the timeline now will be Ollie Steinbach. Gives the ball over on the left side right by Kaylee Bath, and that will be out of bounds.
Remember, we saw a little trouble with unforced turnovers with Fairfield a week ago, too, and they've got 4 turnovers already in this quarter. Conrad's giving them a little trouble defensively with their quickness.
We're on the right side, Erickson gets the ball out to Van Dyke. Her turnaround jumper there from there is no good. And rebound pulled down by Courtney Coverdale. She'll run the ball across the timeline. Gets a lead pass over to Isaacson. Her shot off the glass is up and in.
Good use of the ball on the left side of the basket. Isaacson switched the ball to the left hand and got a good angle on that shot.
Conrad's going to call a timeout, so let's break for a minute with 5:51 left to go in our second quarter. Our score is Fairfield 22 and Conrad 6.
For more than 100 years, community-focused Teton Banks has served the area with friendly, professional service provided by people you know and trust. And isn't that what we'd all like from our bank? Teton Banks, solving your problems, serving your needs. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Well, a miss by Van Dyke on one end, and now a miss by Fairfield on the other. A foul was called on the rebound on Taylor Isaacson. It's going to be her first and fourth team foul on Fairfield, and it'll give Conrad the ball. As over on the far side goes Van Dyke. Gives the ball, and now it's batted away, picked up in backcourt, and they're going to call over and back on Haley Orcutt. Coaches were wondering whether or not the ball was tipped by a Fairfield player before she caught it in backcourt, but they say it was not. And it'll be Fairfield's ball. Taking the ball out will be Courtney Coverdale. Gets the inbound over to Steinbaugh. Goes right side now to Isaacson. Kicks the ball back over to Courtney Coverdale. Down low, Jill Barta back in the contest. Gives over on the right side now, Courtney Coverdale up on top of the key. Jill Barta drives inside the paint. Her shot hits the top of the front of the rim, no good. Put back is up, and that is good. Jill Barta already in double figures with 11. It's 24-6 Fairfield. 4:53 left to go in our second quarter. On the far side goes Michaela DeBoo. Gives the ball over to Harwood. Works over on the near side to Erickson. Gets by one defender, and a blocking foul is going to be called as Isaacson was in her way there, but was not set. And it'll be a blocking foul, second foul on Isaacson. So Conrad takes the ball out. Orcutt doing the honors. Has to get that ball inside. Finally does, but she hit the bottom of the back of the backboard, and that'll be a turnover. I think she was trying to throw it over a bunch of arms and just lobbed it too high.
Well, and a little bit too far to the right as she was looking at it. She was trying to get it around that corner and instead put it right on the corner of the backboard, which is out of play.
As it'll be across the timeline goes Courtney Coverdale. Gives the ball over on the right side to Steinbaugh. Works baseline over to Barta. Back to Steinbaugh to Barta over in the corner. Takes two dribbles, goes up on top of the key now, as it'll be Courtney Coverdale there. Works off a screen. Now she'll take a 19-footer there. It's up and in. 7 points now for Courtney Coverdale. It's 26-6 Fairfield. 4:16 left to go in our first half. Over on the right wing goes Orcutt. Looks for someone to pass it to. Goes down low, but jumping right in front of that was Barta. Gets a lead pass to Steinbaugh. Was able to chase it down and gives it back over to Isaacson. Dumps the ball inside. Shot's going to be put up by Steinbaugh, up and in, and she draws the foul. 6 points for Ollie Steinbaugh. She'll be going to the line. And the foul is going to be on Haley Orcutt. It'll be her first. Only the fourth team foul on Conrad. Steinbaugh is already 2 for 2 at the charity stripe. Tries to complete the three-point play here, and she does. So 7 for Ollie Steinbaugh makes it 29-6 Fairfield. 3:55 left to go in our second quarter. Over on the near side goes Erickson. Works by one defender. Gets the ball from the free throw line. Kicks the ball back up on the outside to Behringer. She'll take it to the free throw line. Back over to Van Dyke. She's going to back up and pull up for a three-pointer. It's no good. Rebound Barta. Looks for a pass and just decides to take it across the timeline herself. Now gets a lead pass to Courtney Coverdale. Goes over on the left side now, as it'll be a Bayeth there. Now has the ball batted away. It'll be picked up by Van Dyke. And a whistle and dribble is going to be called on Morgan Van Dyke. Well, she would have had trouble anyway because she had Barta right on her. And if she tried to go up for a shot one-on-one, it might not have been good.
It would have been a race to the basket, no doubt about it. Conrad, they continue to run the offense. They continue to get some decent looks at the basket. They've now missed 13 shots in a row.
Coverdale gives the ball over to Steinbaugh as they try to get the ball underneath. No one was there. I think they were expecting Jill Barta to be there, but instead there was just nobody, and it goes out of bounds. So Conrad will get the ball on the turnover. Orcutt will walk the ball across the timeline, gets a lead pass to Erickson. Takes the ball one direction and looks for a defender as it looks like they're going to call it kicking the ball as the ball went to the floor. And it'll be Van Dyke to take the ball out for the Cowgirls. Fakes an inbound. Now she gets it over to Orcutt. She'll work off one screen, taking 19-footer, no good. Put back by Harwood is up, and that is good. First two for Emily Harwood. It's 29-8 Fairfield. 2:52 left to go in our first half. Over on the left side, Barta gets by two defenders, forces up a shot that's no good, but a foul is going to be called, and going to the line for Fairfield will be Jill Barta.
And Jill kind of created the contact on that play. She could have just pivoted around that little drop step into the lane and pulled up for a jump shot, but instead she kind of leaned more to her left and tried to squeeze between defenders, and that was allowed her to draw the contact but didn't get the shot.
So the foul on Michaela Behringer will be her first. Barta's the line. First one was good. Second one is up and also good. So 13 points for Jill Barta makes it 31-8. Fairfield leads. 2:45 left to go in our first half. Erickson gives the ball to Van Dyke as it went to the floor. She'll pick it up, gives it back over to Erickson. Now works over on the far side to Behringer. Looks down low, turnaround jumper there by Harwood is up and in.
Really good pass by Michaela Behringer. Started to dribble toward the top of the key. The defense relaxed, and she rifled a pass into Harwood waiting underneath the basket.
Up on top of the key goes Kaylin Coverdale. Works over in the corner to Steinbaugh. Now the ball is batted away. It's going to be picked up by Conrad. Behringer will run the ball across the timeline. Got by two defenders quickly down the floor. Puts it up and in, and Fairfield wants to call a timeout. So let's break for a minute with 2:10 left to go in our second quarter. Our score, Fairfield 31, Conrad 12.
Right now, there's a car in your driveway or garage that carries the most valuable thing in the world, your pension. Every time you get out, you're depending on those four tires to get them there and back. Safe? Check your tires often. Always the right time, always the right price. But the true line is Tire Factory. Convenience or low Tire Factory. COC Western Avenue in Stillwater.
Conrad presses. They got the ball. Courtney Coverdale was able to get by the defender, puts up the two. She has 9. As we come the other direction now, underneath, Emily Harwood had a good look at the basket and put it up, but gets fouled, and she'll be going to the line.
Dustin Gordon took that time out because the Eagles had lost a little bit of hustle and focus, and they really didn't pick up Emily Harwood on the basket that time. Conrad continues to move the ball well in their offense, and they're finding openings.
And the first one by Harwood is up in, no good. Foul was called on Courtney Coverdale. It'll be her first. But still, Fairfield has been able to outscore Conrad 13-6 in this quarter. The next one by Harwood is up, and that is good. So 5 points for Emily Harwood makes it 33-13. Fairfield leads. 1:47 left to go in our first half. As over in the corner goes Isaacson. Gives it over on the far side now to Steinbaugh. Now back over on the right wing to Courtney Coverdale. Goes in the corner now to Steinbaugh. And now the pass is jumped right in front of by Erickson. Runs the ball, gets triple teamed, and has to stop. Gives it over to Orcutt, tried to get the ball down low over to Harwood, but this time the Fairfield anticipating that. Kaylin Coverdale with the ball, gives it over to Courtney. Goes right side now to Steinbaugh and has the ball go out of bounds as Van Dyke was able to kind of bat that ball away.
Fairfield with 8 turnovers in this quarter.
Kaylee Bath will check in now as Ollie Steinbaugh will come out. And take the ball out for the Eagles will be Jill Barta. Looks for someone to pass it to as takes her time, gets an inbound lob to Kaylin Coverdale, And now the ball goes out of bounds as it went through the hands of Isaacson and out of bounds.
Good play with Kaylin Coverdell down the low post, and Courtney Coverdell cutting up the middle of the floor. The ball just had some spin on it, and she couldn't grab it.
Kaylee Bath almost with stealing the ball away, but is able to hit it in backcourt, but it'll be picked up by Conrad. As they go baseline over to Orcutt, she'll get by one defender. Reverse shot is put up and in. She doesn't even have a real good look at it, but able to get it to fall. She has her first two. 33-15 our score. Barta will take the ball from the top of the key. No good. Put back by Isaacson is up. That's no good. Barta with the putback gets fouled, and she'll be going to the line.
Well, Conrad went through that stretch where they missed 13 shots in a row, and since then they've made their last 4. It's been an interesting night of shooting for Conrad.
Emily Harwood, who's been doing very good underneath, though, picks up her 3rd foul, and that's not good news if you're Conrad. She'll come out of the contest now. Michaela DeBoo will check in for her. Barta's first shot was up, and it was no good, and she'll get one more. Next one is up, and that one is good. So 14 points for Jill Barta, makes it 34-15. As Fairfield leads with 39 seconds left to go in our first half. Over on the near side, Michaela DeBoo with her 3 bounces and it falls off. Rebound pulled down by Bath. And they get the ball over to Barta. She'll run the ball across the timeline. No look pass inside. Kaylin Coverdale shot up and in. Everyone was so focused on Jill Barta going up that she just dumped the pass to Kaylin Coverdale, and she gets the 2. So 4 points for Kaylin Coverdale, and she'll be going to the line. Taryn Erickson will pick up the foul. It'll be her first. And that is the 7th team foul on Conrad. They'll be shooting free throws for the rest of the the half, even though there's only 24 seconds left. And the shot by Kaylin Coverdale is up and in. So 37-15 our score. 17 seconds left to go in our first half. Near side goes Behringer. Looks for someone as she gets double teamed. Gives it over to Van Dyke. Goes baseline now to Erickson. Her shot is up, no good. Rebound pulled down by Kaylin Coverdale. With 3 seconds, gives the ball over on the left side. Isaacson to Barta. She tried to save the ball as it was going out of bounds. Buzzer sounds, and that will end our first half. We're through one half of action here in Fairfield. Let's take a 2-minute timeout, and we'll take a look at the numbers. We're at the half as Fairfield leads Conrad 37-15 as we take a look at the scoring for Conrad, and pretty balanced, but not a whole lot of it. Emily Harwood leads the scoring for Conrad with 5. She's 1 for 2 from the charity stripe. We have Morgan Van Dyke with a single 3-pointer to her credit. Taryn Erickson has 2, was 0 for 1 from the charity stripe. Haley Orcutt has 2. Michaela Behringer with 2. And Michaela DeBoo with just a single point. She's 1 for 2 from the line. 2 for 5 from the charity stripe as a team for Conrad, and 40% there.
And like I said, they haven't shot the ball very well, and that's been the one problem they've had. They've moved the ball well. They've shown good quickness. They passed the ball really well. Obviously, they are well prepared for this ball game. They just don't get the ball to go in. Like I said, they went through a stretch where they missed 13 shots in a row after opening the game 2 for 4, and all of a sudden they lit it up the last 3 minutes of the second quarter. It's a whole lot better performance for Conrad than it was the first time they met. It was 43-12 at halftime of that game. It's still not close, but it's closer than it was.
Yeah. So, I think Emily Harwood picking up a 3rd foul that's also going to hurt Conrad as we get further into this contest.
And again, credit the guards for finding her open. Credit her for being in a position where she's not just running into players. I mean, she's trying to get open, hiding down in spots where there's a seam, and they're getting the ball to her down to the seam. They've scored a couple of times. They missed a couple shots right at the basket, too, like that. When Michaela DeBoo was in playing for Harwood, she also was finding those openings in the low post. So credit Conrad for going right at the Fairfield defense, but a lot of those shots within 7 feet of the basket haven't gone in.
We'll take a look at the Fairfield scoring and as our halftime show continues after we take a 2-minute timeout. Again, our score at the half is Fairfield 37, Conrad 15. Are they playing Lady Gaga?
Yes. Cutbank plays this song too, but twice as fast.
What's that?
Cutbank plays this song too, but twice as fast.
Oh. Maybe that's why I don't recognize it sometimes. Our score at the half, Fairfield leads Conrad 37-15 as we take a look at the scoring for Fairfield, led by Jill Barta, 14 points, and she's also 4 for 6 from the charity stripe. We have Courtney Coverdale with 9 points. Ollie Steinboss, 7 points off the bench. She is 3 for 3 from there. And Caitlin Coverdale has 5, is 1 for 1 from the line. Taylor Isaacson with 2 for Fairfield, and as a team, they've been to the line quite a bit and done very well there. 8 for 10, as a matter of fact, according to my numbers, 80%.
A little off on the field goal, and actually I've considered really off on the way they've moved the ball offensively. A lot of turnovers in that second quarter. They had 14 in the first half, which is pretty un-Fairfield-like, at least as what I've seen them play the last few years. They've stayed out of foul trouble, though. The defense is not as aggressive tonight as we've seen them play in the past either. They've not really pressed up at the half-court line. They've kind of backed off on Conrad. And to their credit, Conrad's done a pretty good job getting the ball across half-court, getting it to the side, and then getting it back in around the top of the key, where they back up the Fairfield defense a little bit. So, you know, Conrad has moved the ball very quickly. Fairfield hasn't really had a chance to get into those double teams. Where they've really had trouble is when they've got the ball down on the baseline, then Fairfield's been able to pin them down with their height and get good play defensively. But Fairfield on the offensive end, they've missed some passes. They've had a half a dozen passes, especially in that second quarter that just weren't really to people, which you don't see from Fairfield a lot. Maybe players weren't ready to catch the ball. That has been a problem, and they haven't shot as well as, they're almost 50%, 14 of 29. That's pretty good for just about anybody in the league. For Fairfield, that's a little below par from what we're used to, but still they're ahead by 22 points. And still, I don't know that Dustin Gordon's got that much to complain about after 2 quarters.
Well, I think the way they've been playing defense has just been a little, like you said, slower than we saw. In fact, I think that's why Dustin Gordon wanted that timeout, because Conrad was doing that. And I don't know if that, like I said, when you're up that much, that's not something you really want to be concerned about, but you don't want to get laxed either. And another thing I noticed about Fairfield's offense is they've been trying to take a lot of shots from the far side wing that haven't been going, instead of getting the ball down low, which we saw him do a lot more against Peixoto.
They normally move that ball so quickly from the top of the key, deep to the wing, and then to the low post. It's just 2 quick passes and the ball's down there.
Right.
Conrad's done a pretty good job, not totally a good job, but rather than try to play behind the defender down in the low post, they're just going to put somebody right in front of her. And instead of trying to play defense and deny that pass, it's like they are the offensive player. They're just going to go try to catch that pass. And as a result, that ball hasn't got down automatically into the low post. And when they do, Conrad's done a pretty good job of getting a double team on right away, so it's been tough to get a shot right out of the low post.
I think some of their passes, too, Conrad's been anticipating what they're going to do. They've done their homework, obviously, on Fairfield, because they know where the ball is, and they were able to, a lot of times, tip that ball away and able to make the steal. And I think that's where Fairfield, those quick passes need to be maybe just a little bit quicker.
And especially against Conrad, because they've shown really good quickness defensively. They've got, they're well prepared, which you'd expect from a Tyler Buckland team, and the fact that they've got that quickness, maybe the quickest Class B team I've seen so far this season, and that's going to be, Fairfield's going to have to be that much sharper moving the ball around.
Our third quarter getting ready to get started here. Conrad will get the ball to start things off. Morgan Van Dyke said, "Oh yeah, I'm up." So as she takes the ball out, gets the inbound pass over to Haley Orcutt as we reverse baskets. It'll be Orcutt giving the ball inside to Van Dyke. The ball is batted away though, and it'll be picked up by Jill Barda. She'll trot the ball across the timeline for the Eagles. Give the ball over on the far side wing to Taylor Isaacson. Cross-court pass now over to Kaylee Bayoff. Takes one dribble, looks around for a pass, and gives it over on the near side wing to Courtney Coverdale. Works baseline over to Bayoff. Back over on the near side. Courtney Coverdale goes in the corner now to Isaacson. She almost lost it. Kicks the ball back out to Courtney Coverdale. Back over to Isaacson. Courtney Coverdale there. Gives over in the corner now to Bayoff. She'll pull up for a three-pointer. Hits the side of the backboard, and it's no good. Rebound, Emily Harwood. Gives a pass now as across the timeline goes Haley Orcutt, and a whistle and a pushing foul called underneath, I believe, on Courtney Coverdale. Actually, no, it'll be on Kaylee Bayoff, and it'll be her second. First team foul on the Eagles in this half. Inbound pass goes in the hands of Haley Orcutt. She dribbles right in front of the center circle, gives the ball near side now to Michaela Behringer. Back over to Morgan Van Dyke, goes far side now, as it'll be Orcutt there. Now near side to Erickson. Takes one dribble, cross-court pass, but it was jumping in front of that was Courtney Coverdale. She gets the ball in the other direction, gets a layup, it's good.
And that was an athletic play by Courtney Coverdale, because he had 2 Conrad defenders right with her trying to get at that ball, and she really had to be strong to get that ball off the floor on the dribble and get it to the basket.
Courtney Coverdale now in double figures with 11. It's 39-15 Fairfield. 6:32 left to go in our third quarter as the Conrad tried to get the ball to the baseline to Taryn Erickson, went right by her and out of bounds.
That was a good idea by Emily Harwood, but she and Erickson weren't quite on the same page there, and Harwood led her by a full step toward the basket.
And now Erickson will come out of the contest now. Across the timeline goes Courtney Coverdale, gives the ball down low, shot high off the glass by Kaylin Coverdale, is up and in. 7 points for Kaylin Coverdale. It's 41-15. As over on the near side goes Michaela DeBoo, who checked in for Erickson. Has the ball go off her shoulder, but it's going to be picked up by Behringer. Gives the ball inside. A little fadeaway put up by Emily Harwood. No good. Foul called as we go the other direction. And a foul will be on Fairfield. And they'll call that one on Taylor Isaacson.
They got Isaacson. I think it's Courtney Coverdale who gets the foul.
It is.
There are only 2 players on the weak side on the rebound that time. Courtney Coverdale and a Conrad player. Might have been Van Dyke, and Coverdale got caught with her arm out, and Van Dyke falling backward.
And Courtney Coverdale with her third foul comes out of the contest now as a inbound pass battle weight will be picked up by Fairfield. They go the other direction as all the way down. Kaylin Coverdale going up for the shot. It's no good, but a foul is going to be called. And Haley Orcutt will pick up the foul. And going to the line will be Kaylin Coverdale. So second foul on Haley Orcutt. First team foul on the Cowgirls. First shot by Kaylin Coverdale is up and in. Kaylin Coverdale, a 5'8" senior with one more coming up, and that one is up, and that one's also good. So 9 points for Kaylin Coverdale. It's 43-15 Fairfield. 5:58 left to go in our third, and a whistle. A timeout's going to be called by Conrad. Let's break for a minute with 5:57 left to go in our third quarter. Our score, it's Fairfield 43, Conrad 15. Brooke Poore has come into the contest for Fairfield during that timeout as Fairfield scored 6 unanswered points, and Conrad called that timeout. As over on the right side, it'll be Michaela Behringer giving the ball out on the outside. Long three-point shot put up by Van Dyke is no good. And as Emily Harwood tried to go for the rebound, she stepped on that end line. It'll be Fairfield's ball.
Conrad's been victimized by their own passing here in this third quarter. Not quite as sharp. The offense not moving as well. A lot of indecision sometimes trying to get the ball down the floor.
Steinbach finds Kaylin Coverdale underneath ball by herself. She gets the turnaround jumper. She's in double figures with 11. It's 45-15 Fairfield. 5:23 left to go in our third as they get the ball downside. A steal by Brooke Poore. They get the lead pass over to Kaylin Coverdale, but it was in front of her and she was unable to chase it down. Conrad gets the ball.
Well, last we were talking about that Fairfield low post pass. That time the Eagles were able to get it. 2 quick passes into the low post. Conrad did not get back defensively.
As over on the near side, it'll be Michaela DeBoo giving the ball over to Van Dyke. Gets by 2 defenders. She gets by, tried to get around Barta, but it's no good. Barta with the rebound, gets the lead pass to Kaylin Coverdale. Dumps the ball inside. Shot by Ollie Steinbaugh, no good. Put back by Kaylin Coverdale is up and in. 13 for Kaylin Coverdale now. 47-15 our score. As we come the other direction, it'll be Van Dyke over on the far side now to Orcutt. She'll pull up for 3. It's no good. Rebound pulled down by Kaylin Coverdale. Gets a lead pass over to Steinbaugh. Has kind of got in front of the basket. Gives it on the near side to Poore. Now over to Barta. She'll take from 15. No good. And it'll be a rebound taken by Harwood. Gets the outlet pass to Behringer. She'll run the ball across the timeline. Look behind her to Van Dyke. Gives it back over to Behringer. She'll dribble over into the right wing. Take the ball to the baseline. She'll take a shot from 16. No good. Rebound picked up by Barta. Trots the ball across the timeline for the Eagles. Gives the ball over on the right side to Poore. She'll look to drive, stops, looks down low. Kaylin Coverdale kicks the ball back on the outside now to Kaylee Baith. Now to Barta up on top of the key. She'll dribble inside the paint, dump the ball down low to Kaylin Coverdale. Gets by 1 defender, shot no good. Gets her own rebound, her putback is up and in. Kaylin Coverdale now leads all scorers with 15. It's 49-15. Fairfield leads. 3:46 left to go in our third. Over on the right wing goes Behringer. Gives the ball baseline now as it'll be Orcutt there. Down low. Shot's going to be put up as Orcutt tried to force up a shot. It was no good. And rebound taken by Barta. Runs the ball the other direction. Got by 2 defenders. She got fouled as she took the ball to the hole.
What a quarter for Kaylin Coverdale. She's got 10 of Fairfield's 12 points here in this quarter. Jill Barta hasn't even scored this quarter as of yet. Meanwhile, on Conrad's end, 0 for 6 from the field and 5 turnovers.
Erickson will pick up her second foul. Barta at the line to shoot 2. Her first one is good. And now checking in, we'll have Courtney Coverdale will come in as Kaylee Bath will come out. And also checking in for Conrad Gabby Drashinsky is in. Second shot by Barta is up, and that's also good. So 16 for Jill Barta makes it 51-15 Fairfield. 3:26 left to go in our third. As up on top of the key, it goes Haley Orcutt. Works the ball over on the baseline to Van Dyke. Bounce pass down low to Harwood. Kicks the ball back on the outside as it'll be Orcutt there. Now back between the circles to Gabby Drashinsky. Bounce pass to Harwood. She'll take the ball to the hole. Has her shot blocked by Barta, and Barta will pick up the ball. Gets a lead pass now over to Steinbaugh. Now to Courtney Coverdale rather. Her shot is up, no good. Rebound, Poor. Gives the ball back up on top of the key. Kaylin Coverdale is there. That's Ollie Steinbaugh rather. She drives to the paint. Shot no good, and foul's going to be called. And going to the line for Fairfield will be Ollie Steinbaugh.
Kind of curious because all of a sudden Fairfield's just gone away from their offense. It's just take the ball to the basket.
So at the line, Ollie Steinbaugh, who's 3 for 3, has 7 points. First one is up and in. Ollie Steinbaugh, 5'6" sophomore. She'll have one more coming up.
One thing Fairfield does very well is shoot free throws. I've got them unofficially 73% from the season on the free throw line, and tonight over 80% now, 13 of 16.
Steinbaugh makes her next one. She has 9. And now she'll come out, and replacing her, Taylor Isaacson is back in. As over on the right side, it'll be Drashinsky giving the ball up on top of the key to Morgan Van Dyke. She gets double teamed, looks for a pass, goes over on the right wing now to Deboo. She'll work off a screen now, and now she'll back up. Gives the ball over on the right side to Van Dyke. Kicks the ball behind her to Drashinsky. Now over on the near side, as it's Deboo there. Kicks the ball back on the outside as the steal is taken by Fairfield. They get the lead pass all the way down to Poor. She takes it on the outside, gives the ball over to Poor. Her shot is up and in. First two for Brooke Poor, and it's 55-15. Fairfield leads. 2:10 left to go in our third quarter. On top of the key, Drashinsky, and a whistle, and a timeout's going to be called. Let's break for a minute with 2:06 left to go in our third quarter. Our score, it's Fairfield 55, Conrad 15.
For more than 100 years, community-focused Teton Banks has served the area with friendly, professional service provided by people you know and trust. And isn't that what we'd all like from our bank? Teton Banks, solving your problems, serving your needs. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Conrad with the ball after the timeout, as we're going to have a running clock now with the 40-point rule. Underneath, the shot's going to be put up there by Harwood. It's blocked by Jill Barta. Takes the ball the other direction, stops, and got just going too fast. Tried to put the brakes on, but the momentum, she took an extra step.
Fairfield's had a very nice quarter, 6 of 11 from the field. Only 2 turnovers after having 14 in the first half. Conrad still hasn't scored this quarter.
Up on top of the key will go Drashinsky. Gives the ball over in the inside the paint to Harwood. Back on the outside now. Deboo's going to drive to the paint. Her shot no good, partially blocked. Will be picked up by Isaacson. She'll take the ball the other direction. Gets a layup. It's good. Isaacson with good speed gets it down low. Gets it the other end and gets the layup. 57-15 our score. Fairfield leads. 1:16 left to go in our third. Over on the right wing goes Drashinsky. Gives the ball over in the corner now to Van Dyke. Inside now Harwood. Her shot from 15. It's short. And rebound will be picked up by Kaylin Coverdale. Gets a lead pass over to Barta. Gets over on the right wing now, as it'll be Courtney Coverdale there. Goes baseline to Poor. Back to Kaylin Coverdale. Drives inside the paint. Shot down low, put up by Kaylin Coverdale, is up and in. 17 points for Kaylin Coverdale. It's 59-15. 45 seconds and counting left in our third quarter. On top of the key will go Drashinsky. Gives the ball over on the right side now to Orcutt. She'll dribble over on the near side now as she gives it over to Debu. Takes one dribble, back up on top of the key now to Orcutt. Goes over on the right wing now as Libby Drushinsky there. Goes in the corner. Van Dyke for three is up and in. Big scoring drought for Conrad, and now a whistle as they
Fairfield
stepped on the end.
stepped over the end line to inbound the ball. Yeah.
So the Van Dyke with her second three-pointer, 6 point, and it'll be Conrad's ball as the 7 seconds left. They hit the inbound right over into the hands of Jill Barta. She'll run the ball the other direction with 2 seconds. Goes for the layup. Good, and she draws the foul. Buzzer sounds, but she will get her free throws here. And she has 18. As we'll go to the bench, we'll see let her shoot her free throws here. The officials are saying the cheerleaders want to go do their thing out there, and they said, no, let her shoot her free throw first. And she does, and that will complete our third quarter of action. So 19 points for Jill Barta, and after 3, our score, it's Fairfield 62, Conrad 18.
Kay and Kenneth Naylor started Kay's Auto in 1955. The Fairfield store opened in March of 1984 and has been going strong ever since. Today, Ken and Jan Naylor own and operate the family business. They have proudly supported the Fairfield community and school for 28 years. For all of your automotive parts, vehicle accessories, and automotive tools, be sure to stop into the Fairfield Kay's Auto store. Customers will experience outstanding service in a friendly atmosphere and guaranteed high-quality parts. Please visit Kay's Auto of Fairfield for any of your automotive needs. Thank you for your business, and go Eagles.
Say your face, but I think against any team, I think Fairfield's going to be doing this to a lot of them, so
Yeah.
it comes with the territory. Fairfield with the ball to start our fourth quarter, leading 62-18. Inside the paint, shot's going to be put up down low by Poor is up no good. Or actually, that's Isaacson's shot no good. Rebound Conrad. Van Dyke will take the ball over in the corner as they dump the ball inside to Harwood. Kicks the ball back on the outside. As there be Erickson there from 15. Shot no good. Ball goes out of bounds and into the lobby area. A fan that was standing there was able to pick it up and give it to the official. It'll be Conrad's ball underneath their own basket. As Orcutt will take the ball out. One slap of the ball gets the inbound to Harwood. Shot no good. Rebound is taken by Fairfield. Running the ball the other direction, we have Claire Ruckman in the contest now. And the ball gets by her. It goes out of bounds, but it was last touched by Conrad. And it'll be Fairfield's ball.
Statistically, that was a real impressive third quarter for Fairfield. They outscored Conrad 25-3. They shot 9 of 14 from the field, 7 of 7 from the free throw line, but they didn't do it in any spectacular fashion. That was just typical Fairfield basketball.
Isaacson up on top of the key to Kaylin Coverdale. Works the ball down low. Turnaround jumper is going to be put up underneath by Aspen Colwick, which is no good. And rebound taken by Conrad. It'll be Behringer getting the lead pass to Erickson over on the far side. Gets a bounce pass down low. Kicks it over to Van Dyke. Her shot from 5, no good. Rebound pulled down by Kaylin Coverdale. She'll take the ball the other direction. Gets the lead pass to Courtney Coverdale. Now goes over on the far side to Isaacson. Works over in the corner now as it'll be Claire Ruckman there. Goes over on the near side to Isaacson. Kicks ball back over up on top to Courtney Coverdale. Back over to Isaacson. Looks for a pass. Gets an angle pass up on top of the key to Kaylee Bayeth. Or to Aspen Colwick, rather. Now up on top of the key. Courtney Coverdale will look to drive. Gives the ball over on the right side to Isaacson. Now she'll look. Goes the baseline down to Claire Ruckman. Sure shot is up and in. First two for Claire Ruckman. It's 64-18. Fairfield leads with 5:52 left to go in our third. As over on the far side, long three-point shot by Van Dyke is up and in. Van Dyke leads Conrad scoring with 9 by way of 3 3-pointers. It's 64-21 Fairfield. 5:39 and counting left to go in our third. As at the baseline goes Isaacson. His ball up on top of the key now. Shot's going to be put up by Claire Ruckman. No good. The ball goes out of bounds, and now more changes. The 3 starters that were in there, I believe, are going to come out now. As Fairfield now has Logan Colsty in the contest, and a timeout's going to be called by Fairfield. Let's break for a minute with 5:22 left to go in our third quarter. Our score, or our fourth quarter rather, even though it says third on the scoreboard there. It's Fairfield 64 and Conrad 21.
Long game.
Long game. As Conrad got the ball on the far side, Morgan Van Dyke hits another three-pointer, her fourth. She has 12 now, and she's in double figures. As we come the other direction now, a foul's going to be called on Fairfield as Brooke Poore pick up the foul. It'll be Conrad's ball. Shot's going to be put up. It's no good. 64-24 our score. Fairfield leads. 4:21 left to go in our fourth quarter. Now a steal is coming up with it this time is Michaela Behringer. Works the ball over to Harwood. Shot no good, but a blocking foul is going to be called. And going to the line for Conrad will be Emily Harwood. Foul's going to be called on Kylie Ruckman. It'll be her first. And at the line is Emily Harwood. Her first shot is up, no good. Rebound, we have Austin Rogers coming in now as Aspen Colwick will come out. And now we have Colleen Adams in the contest for Conrad and also Janae Johns. Next one by Harwood is up, and that one is also good. So now the next one is good, so that's 6. And now Harwood will come out, and Michaela DeBoo will check back in. As between the circles goes Brooke Poore. Gets bounce pass over on the near side to Kylie Ruckman, or on the right side to Poore. Now looks down low inside. Austin Rogers is there. Her shot is no good, but a foul's going to be called. And going to line for Fairfield will be Austin Rogers.
Hands on against Morgan Van Dyke as that pass came into the low post. I was impressed with Austin Rogers in the JV contest today, which Fairfield won rather handily, but she's got the makings of one of the next up-and-comers from this Fairfield roster.
Austin Rogers, first one is no good. Second one coming up, 5'5" sophomore. That one's also no good. And rebound is taken by Conrad. Getting the ball across the timeline is Michaela DeBoo. Gives the ball inside the paint, has it blocked by Austin Rogers, but I think they're going to call a foul on Rogers. Or no, actually they're going to call it on Brooke Poore. Be foul number 2 on Poore. And at the line is Michaela DeBoo, who has the single point from the line. She's 1 for 2. First one is up, hits the back of the rim, and no good. Michaela DeBoo, a 5'6" junior, and she'll have one more coming up. Next one by DeBoo is up, and that one is also no good. And rebound taken by Conrad. Shot is up, no good, and now a Poore will get the rebound. Will come the other direction. Now a whistle as Poore was trying to get the ball. A reaching in foul is going to be called, I believe, on Morgan Van Dyke, and it will be foul number 2 on Van Dyke. Inbound pass is taken by Poore. Gives the ball over on the left side to Kylie Ruckman. Now shot's going to be put up underneath. Is no good. The putback is up. That's no good. And now another shot, this time by Aspen Colwick, is no good. And now the rebound is taken by Conrad. They come the other direction as Michaela DeBoo got hammered, and she tried to go on the other side. Foul's going to be called on Brooke Poore, and that'll be her third. So going to the line for Conrad will be Michaela DeBoo. She's 1 for 4 on the night. Just has that one single point, and the first one hits the back of the rim, and it's no good.
Conrad's normally a pretty good free throw shooting team, close to 60% by my numbers, but tonight they're 3 of 10.
And DeBoo with one more coming up, and that one is up, and that one is good. So 2 points for Michaela DeBoo. It's 64-26, Fairfield leads. 54 seconds left to go in this contest. And now a pass goes over the head of Austin Rogers, but they say it was last touched by Conrad. So it'll be Fairfield's ball. Kylie Ruckman will take the ball out. Try to get the inbound over to Rogers. It's batted away, but it'll be picked up by Fairfield as Logan Colsty gets the ball inside the paint, and his shot's going to be put up there by Austin Rogers. Is up and in. First two for Austin Rogers. It's 66-26. Fairfield leads. 23 seconds left to go in our fourth. On top of the key goes Colleen Adams. Gives the ball over on the right side now. Long three-pointer by Van Dyke. It's an air ball. And the two Conrad players tried to save the ball from going out of bounds, but they were unable to do it. It'll be Fairfield's ball. 6 seconds left as getting the ball across the timeline is Ruckman, and she'll take a shot as the buzzer sounds. It's partially blocked, and that will end our contest. So very quick fourth quarter as that continuous clock, and Fairfield scores 4 points, and Conrad scores actually 8, so Conrad actually outscored Fairfield in that fourth quarter. Let's hear a word from the Village Drug, and we'll come back and take a look at some of the numbers. Again, our final, Fairfield 66, Conrad 26. So Fairfield wins this one 66-26 in a District 1B conference game. Let's take a look at the numbers for Conrad, led by Morgan Van Dyke, and she was the only player to get in double figures. 12 points, all three-pointers. She had 4 three-pointers in that contest, and she leads the Conrad scoring with 12. Emily Harwood had 6 points, most of those coming in the first half. She was 2 for 4 from the charity stripe. We have Taryn Erickson with 2, Haley Orcutt with 2, Michaela Behringer had 2, and Michaela DeBoo had 2, and she was also 2 for 6 from the charity stripe. Conrad, according to my numbers, were kind of dismal from the line. 4 for 11 is what I have, 36% there.
Not a real good shooting night on Conrad either from the free throw line or the field. I had them 9 of 41 from the field, just 22% there. And that was part of Conrad's problem, a lot of their problem, actually. Fairfield really didn't do anything defensively other than Jill Barta blocked about 7 shots to really keep Conrad from getting good shots at the basket tonight. Fairfield really didn't press them all that much in the half court or in the sidelines. They didn't really double team the ball out on the perimeter all that much. They played a pretty straightforward 2-3 zone as the defenses played today, and Conrad got some decent shots, didn't go in. I mean, they make the shots that should have gone in. They shoot 35%. They get 40 points on the board tonight. But like I said, shots didn't go in, and it's, again, not necessarily that Jill Barta intimidated a lot of those shots. It's just shots didn't go in.
We'll take a break here, a word from our wrap-up sponsor, and that is Farmers Union Insurance, and then we'll take a look at the Fairfield numbers. Again, our final here, Fairfield 66, Conrad 26. Fairfield winning this one 66-26 as we take a look at the numbers for Fairfield. 3 players in double figures, led by Jill Barta, 19 points. Was also 7 for 9 from the charity stripe. It's another thing about Jill Barta with all her height. She can also is a real good free throw shooter.
Yep, and the fact that she scores all the points she scores in about 3/4 of basketball. I don't know if she's played a 4th quarter yet this year, and I've only seen Fairfield play twice, but you kind of see the pattern of how it all works. So the fact that she's averaging 23 points a game, I think this is only the 2nd time this season. Let's see, I'm going to check my numbers. Only the 2nd time this season she hasn't made at least 20 points. So that's pretty impressive. You know, you can make the argument that she is the best girls basketball player in the state of Montana, and I know a lot of folks around here that will stand by that argument no matter who the AA and the A players put on the floor.
I think you're right, Gary. Yes, she did score 10 against Three Forks. Yeah, Jill Barta with 19 points in that contest.
Yeah, she only scored 10 that night, but Three Forks only scored 14.
Yeah. So, Fairfield also had Kaylin Coverdale having a good night. She had 17 points. She was 3 for 3 from the line. And twin Courtney Coverdale also got into double figures. She had 11. Ollie Steinbach came off the bench, scored 9 points. She was also 5 for 5 from the charity stripe. Tali Isaacson with 4 points for Fairfield. Claire Ruckman had 2, Brooke Poore had 2, and Austin Rogers with 2. She was 0 for 2 from the line. And according to my numbers, Fairfield, just the opposite of Conrad, had a very good night at the free throw line. I have them 15 for 19 for 79%.
And then that's pretty much what they shoot on the season. That's a typical night at the line for Fairfield. Eagles 46% from the field by my total, 25 of 54. They only made 1 of 8 3-point shots tonight. But otherwise, statistically, they were very strong, and we talk a lot about Jill Barta, and rightly so. But, I mean, you talked about the fact Kaylin Coverdale had that huge 3rd quarter. Courtney Coverdale had the big first half. Ollie Steinbach almost made double figures tonight. Bottom line is, within the system that Dustin Gordon has, people get their shots. And typically when they get their shots, thanks to good ball movement, they get them in open places, and they make those shots.
Most coaches would think, you know, if you have a girl who's 6'4", it's going to be all Jill Barta all the time, but it's not that way with this team.
And it could be. I mean, it could be Jill Barta scoring 40 points a night with this team, but they've got that talent to put around her, which is a really, I mean, like Dustin Gordon said, you can't coach 6'4", and you can't coach, you know, talent around her, too. I mean, the Coverdales are amazing players. You wonder how good they would be on a team without Jill Barta. If they were the 2 stars of the team, how far that team would go. They could be state tournament competitors still.
Let's take one more break here. Another word from Farmers Union Insurance, and come back and wrap this one up. Get ready for our boys action. Again, our final here was Fairfield 66, Conrad 26. When do you want to start? I'll let him know.
We're going to go into Fox News, and then there's a 3-minute NASCAR thing. We're going to go right after that.
Okay. Does he already know that? Okay.
Conrad Chester here to help. Feelings Insurance Agency, a Farmers Union insurance business, started in the Conrad area in 1953. Now it's a second-generation business, providing multi-lines of insurance. Farm, homeowners, auto, commercial, multi-peril crop, and crop hail. This also includes life, health, and specialty lines. Staff, fair claim service. Call Gordon Ewings in Conrad and in Chester. Good luck, Cowboys. Cowgirls.
So Fairfield winning this one 66-26, as it was basically Fairfield jumping off to a big lead and never looked back. There was one time that Conrad actually led, I believe it was 8-6, and that was the only time that they led in this contest early in that first quarter. And but it was a 20-6 score at the end of one. And then from then on, it was just basically Fairfield was in cruise mode, leading 37-15 at the end of the half. 62-18, the midway through that third quarter, the 40-point running clock rule came into effect. So it was a very quick fourth quarter, and Fairfield wins this one 66-26. With the win, Fairfield, their winning streak continues. They're 11-0 now on the season, and with the loss, Conrad will now fall to 4-6 on the season. Next up for the Fairfield Eagles, they will be they'll have tomorrow off, but then they'll be at home on Saturday against Cutbank. Conrad also has tomorrow off, but then they were on the road on Saturday as they will be taking on Shelby. And that will do it for now. We'll come back in just a few minutes after we hear a few things from back at our studio, get you wrapped up on other things, including NASCAR, and then we'll be back for the boys' action. So for now, I'm Mike Dean for Gary Gooden, leaving with our final in our girls' matchup. It was the Fairfield Eagles 66, Conrad Cowgirls 26.